who do you see as like best suited, I guess, to face JD Vance, and then any dark horses that you're kind of keeping your eyes on?
Okay, so again, I preface this with there's a gun to my head because I don't like making predictions. I'm not in the prediction game, and I also genuinely don't think the ultimate nominee is really anyone we're talking about or thinking about right now. But that said, Jon Stewart is obviously my dream draft. I would love him to do it. I doubt he ever would. I think James Talarico down in Texas, the state rep, has proven himself to be a
Mm.
superstar during this
Hey, he already
redistricting
won on
fight.
Rogan. He
He
already
already
did
got the
that.
Rogan endorsement, exactly. He's also a man of faith. He
Hmm.
constantly quotes scripture. He can speak really passionately, really beautifully. He's got the sauce. Um, and then I'd say to bring up the grand dam of the Democratic Party one more time, anyone who Liz Smith sees as having talent, Mallory McMorrow, um, Talarico, I believe, is one of her clients. I'm not positive about that. Jake Auchincloss, although he has to take a trip over to Turkey if he really wants to run. We got to fix that hairline. And yeah, I think those would be my topics, and definitely also John Ossoff. Yes.
I'm curious, like, because we've talked so much about being outsiders. We can wrap after this, but Talarico, I think, is super interesting. The Joe Rogan, was a huge fan of his. My dad's always sending me like Instagram reels of that guy. Um, do you feel like because of how important it is to like the Democratic approval rating is terrible for the party and all the need for outsiders, like, is it possible to run someone to get traction in the Democratic primary? I mean, we saw Pete do it as a mayor of not the biggest city, but is someone like that, does he need to, in this redistricting hell, find some congressional seat that he can run in, or would he be able to run from his current position? Like,
It's tough. Couple of things. One, I have heard some murmurs that he might be making a Texas Senate bid, which
really? I don't know if I like that.
I'm not sure
All
if I do
right.
either. Also, I think like I could never see this being nasty, but yeah, I don't love the idea of him running against Colin Allred.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, to answer your question directly, I don't know. Maybe him being a state rep is actually an asset, that people see him as
Mm-hmm.
a true outsider who's never stepped foot in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but on Talarico, if I could just hone in on him, give a mini rant about why I'm so passionate about him and his potential candidacy. Um, One of my bugaboos for the past several months, it's been an article I've wanted to write, a column for The Guardian that I've just never quite been able to finish. It's inspired by Robert Putnam's Bowling Alone, famous book about sort of desocialization and the death of third spaces and how everyone's just really fucking lonely in America. And then I also read a great piece by Derek Thompson in the Atlantic about similar themes. I I'm of the belief that there is no social or spiritual benefit to being on the left in America, and I think that's a huge
Mm.
fucking problem. Um, MAGA is the single largest book club of illiterates ever amassed. All you have to do is don, no pun intended, the red hat, and you are immediately surrounded by tens of millions of people who will profess love for you, support you. Um, Again, just because you put on a fucking hat. And I don't want to be so critical here. I don't want to just like talk about Democrats being a bunch of squabbling children, a bunch of gutter snipes. But I think the magic that I've seen in Talarico and around Talarico is that he's just able to talk in a way, especially through spirituality, that makes it feel special to be
Mm.
on the left, that makes it feel worthy and good to be a Democrat. And it's been a very long time since any Democratic candidate has made me feel that way. Don't get me wrong, I was as coconut pilled as the next twink last fall, but yeah, there's something about Talarico's messaging, his rhetoric, how he evokes scripture, and how he just like makes me want to be a better person and makes me feel like this fight is worth engaging in. That is just
Mm.
so attractive to me.